Okay. Mirror my video. Okay, here we go. Hopefully, this is all working the way it's supposed to be working. Yeah, did I remember to clear my cache? No, I didn't remember to clear my cache. Hopefully we don't have any issues, because that would be suboptimal. We're in the midst of uploading a video. I'm making sure that tickle of the account so my phone doesn't go to sleep and stop the uploading of the video. Yeah, it's a thing. Hey, good morning. Happy Friday, everybody. My name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a police constable with the Toronto Police Service here in Ontario, Canada. We are live on TikTok. We are live on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter. We're everywhere. We're everywhere. We are going to be doing a bunch of things today. We're answering your questions. Put them in the Q&A, and we'll get to your questions. We've got our magical moderators who are helping us out in the chat. Good morning to all of them. Thank you for coming out on Friday morning. Thank you for coming out and helping out. Every time you come and help out, it really is appreciated. We are going to be joined by News Talk 1010. The Jerry Agar Show will be tuning in at 9:30 this morning, so we'll do about 10 minutes from them. We'll be taking some of your questions and putting them out on the air on the radio in Toronto. So if you are a listener in Toronto, you can throw into the News Talk 1010 bit, and we'll be getting your content viewed or heard on the airways of Toronto. So lots of cool stuff happening, and let's get into it. We are going to be dealing. Oh, here we go. Will says good morning. Thanks, Will. Will's one of our moderators. Neon, good blessed Friday morning, everyone. Thank you to you as well, Neon. We have. We got a question. This is a really great question. So news came out yesterday that by the end of the year, Ontario will be transitioning to an electronic driver's license product. A lot of new information about that, and light. Oh, let's see here. Let me turn on my lights in the back. Here we go. Hey, we got accents. Okay, cool. Make it a little brighter. What do you think? Better with the lights on, lights off? It looks totally different on my YouTube side. Looks much nicer on the YouTube side. On the what's going on here? Where's normal? I don't know. See, is this normal? Where's normal? All these filters. I'm really not a fan of these filters. Okay. Is there a button to say make it better? Okay. Hey, black and white. Look at this. Okay, we're making this worse. So going back into the digital license. So, well, Q, what did you do? You set me on a spin about okay, B9. Does B9 work? Does this suit does it make my hair look longer? I don't know. So going back into the digital licenses, it is a Q's losing it. By the way, I'm actually my name today. Yeah, it's something that's proposed by the end of the year. We don't know if it's actually going to be released on time. Hopefully it is. I think it's a really exciting concept moving into the future. It means that maybe people with Apple devices that are rolling out that new feature would be able to take advantage of it. But it's not here yet. It's still a lot to deal with. And one thing to remember is if your battery don't work, your license isn't going to work, and you will be getting a ticket for not providing your license on demand. So there's going to be issues where I personally would just rather carry a wallet with a license in it and have the digital license as a backup to my original, in case I forgot it at home, as opposed to relying on it as my primary source of identification. But I totally think there's benefits. Looking forward to that happening. So we'll get onto that. We're going to have more details as we get briefed officially on that. QQ says, we Gucci. My wife doesn't like me saying we Gucci. She thinks it's weird coming out of my mouth. And she's probably watching this going, why is he talking about me? Okay. Now, we got, just to throw in here, we got Angela saying hello to Q and I. And Angela, thank you for jumping into our YouTube. We are live on YouTube. If you want to watch us there, watch us here, watch us wherever you want to watch us. As long as you're watching us, we're happy. We are being reminded to double tap that screen. If you are watching us on TikTok, please double tap the screen. Show that you like the content. What it does is it helps to notify TikTok that you're having a good time, and it will show our stream to more people. And you know what? More the merrier. So if you have those folks on TikTok that are friends, invite them in. Bring them into the group. There's more the merrier. We got here already. Dead says good morning. Reft wrong asks, can I drive with a G1 card since I just got a G2? If you've been issued your G2 with a piece of paper that says you have your G2, it's actually changed in the system. Your G1 card is just an ID card, it's just a photo card. So yeah, you need both together. The piece of paper is what your license is, and the G1 becomes just your photo card. So if you've been issued your G2, you're a G2. Have you been told not to talk about vaccinations? I don't talk about vaccinations from the perspective of the government. It's not me to talk about. I'm a traffic guy. I'll talk about traffic and police stuff that's in my wheelhouse. But I've never been told not to talk about vaccinations. They are a thing. People get vaccinated. Let's see here. Do you have any Crown Vics left in service? I don't know. I know we have a historic one. We have a one, like an actual one that's part of our fleet that's going to stick around forever and ever. Like we have an old Plymouth, but are they being used on the road? I think they're being phased out. There may be a couple of left, but for the most part, they're gone. Okay. What is this? Is there a driver center? Is there a driving center taking G1 I'm mine soon? I don't know what you really mean. Do you mean, are there driving centers that you can go and get your driving test done at? Absolutely. You can go to those. They're doing the drive test every day for G1. It's a walk-in. It's not I don't believe that there's any kind of requirement for a booking for that. It's not a specific time. It's just go do your 40-question test. But I don't know really what you're looking at. So maybe you can rephrase your question. That's Mamba Forever. Thank you. Talking about stickers, validation stickers, in case you've missed our updates about this extension, the MTO has announced that the extension period is coming to an end. So if you have a sticker that's not valid right now, the validation plate sticker or a regular driver's license, not a learner's, you must renew it before the end of February 28th, 2022. So you've been given, the extension is coming to an end. After that, enforcement's going to continue. Now, or I shouldn't say continue, but begin. Now, when we start talking about learner's permits, if you have an M1 or an M2, you have until December 31st, 2022 to get your G. You need to get your testing stuff all organized. And for anyone who's waiting to get that information, like they're waiting to get a G, know that the Mount Joy and Burlington offices are now open, and there's one coming in September 20th in East Gwillimbury. That's another new location. That's the third of 4 that are supposed to open this month. So there you go. Booking for G1, I'm getting mine soon. Yeah, I don't think you need to book in advance. Definitely call the MTO and find out, but I think it's a walk-in situation. Other than waiting in line, I don't think you have anything special that you need to do. Do ramps have speed limits to the highway? Well, they have suggested ones. I don't think they're enforceable limits. I think that if you don't listen to them, you're making a big mistake because you're probably going to end up in a collision or running off the road, and you'd be responsible for that collision. Yeah, I don't think that the I don't think we're not highway cops. We have 2 expressways in the city of Toronto. We do the highway patrol there, but where you're talking about those on ramps, they're generally going to be. I think you're referring to 401 or other series highways. The city ones are very quick ramps, and you really have to get up to speed quickly. So let's see here. Tint question from Ashton and myself. You know what? It's nice when I'm getting trolled by my own. My own people are trolling me. That's awesome. So yeah, tint questions. What do you want to know about tint, guys? What's the specific question? You want to just know about brows? Is that what it is? We'll come back to tint in a second. I'm going for my G2 soon. Any helpful tips? Know your rules. Study up on the book. Make sure you're doing everything right. Stay calm. Get lots of practice in so it's not stressful. That's what you want to do. Where's my bottle of water? Oh, it's all the way over there.
Are U-turns only illegal when posted?
Hey, that's a question that was next on my list. Yes, there's a couple of times when it doesn't have to be posted for it to be illegal, like if you're in front of a bridge, a viaduct, a railway crossing. There's a bunch of places like that. But for the most part, they're legal unless signed otherwise. And guess what? Signs last for 150 meters. So when you cross a sign, 150 meters after that sign, it remains to be illegal. Is the G1 test hard? It's 40 questions. 20 of them are signs, and 20 of them are the rules of the road. So is it hard? Not terribly. If you read the book, you should be okay. When is the Toronto temporary site opening? I don't know if there is a Toronto site. I don't think that there is one, but it might be. I don't have any information, but I will share it. Make sure you're following our account if you want updates from us. And for anyone who's in the chat, in the live, but doesn't know who I am, my name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a police constable with the Toronto Police Service, and I am doing this Monday to Friday where we talk about stuff and
that
things.
Vaccines don't work is not true.
Just going to link in with News Talk for a second.
Hey, Sean,
hey, how you doing?
Good morning. Happy Friday, everybody.
Yes, happy Friday to you. My nose is itchy. What's happening?
Your nose is itchy. That means it's going to rain, or maybe you're going to play the lottery and win. We're not sure.
You know what? I'm buying my ticket. That's it.
That's unofficial. Yeah, you sound good. How do we sound to you?
Sounds perfect.
How is this going to go? going forward.
Yeah, it sounds good.
I'm surprised that
if you can throw the feed off, we'll keep you in the background for when you're ready to go. Are we doing 9:30 today?
That's correct. After the
Awesome.
break, 9:35 is when we come back.
Oh, 9:35. Okay, I wasn't sure. I thought it was 5 minutes early for some reason. But cool, we're good to go.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Talk to you soon. That was Nick from News Talk 1010. He's making all the magic happen so that we can mix our signal and transmit out on the air. And Jerry will be here on our TikTok when we flip that switch at 9:35. So stick with us. We'll be taking some of your questions and putting them on the air, and vice versa. Some of their questions will be here on TikTok. So very cool. Enhanced driver's licenses, are they still in play? I understood that they were discontinuing the service, but I did see some notes about it, so they may still be good to go. We'll have to look further into that. Are the digital IDs at the end of the year real? I don't know where we are with that. This is a fairly new thing. It's information that was released, I believe, yesterday. I'm still reading up on it. It says that it's expected at the end of the year. Who knows if it'll actually release on time. But you know what? Follow our channel. As soon as we have more information to share, we will share it. And we're looking forward to it. I think it's exciting that we are moving into the future with technology. We've already had a while now electronic insurance, proof of insurance. That's been available in Ontario. So it was just a matter of time until the rest happened. And boy, oh boy, did people get upset when I said you couldn't show me a picture of your driver's license. And just to be sure, or to be clear, this is not saying that you can use a photo of a driver's license. It is an electronic secured system, essentially, that would be able to share only certain pieces of information with certain people, really to help and protect your identity, while also conveying relevant information. Is there a violation ticket for drivers who tailgate? If following too close is a real thing. What is the fastest speed that's ever been pulled over? I have no idea. I know that recently the OPP just got someone for 308 kilometers an hour in a Mercedes. It shouldn't be a goal. These are people who are generally charged criminally for that speeding. It's ridiculous. They're putting their lives and the lives of others at risk. How to fill a red light camera ticket? How to fill? I'm not sure you're asking me what you're wanting to be asking me. Let me know. Can you please rephrase your question? I'll come back to you. Thoughts on private companies' photo radar cash cow? I'm not aware of private companies doing photo radar. We have, a City of Toronto program that's in place. It's not a Toronto Police program. City of Toronto runs it, but that's the city. It's not private companies. Let's see here. Mambo wants to know what the fastest car in the fleet is. Good question. I don't know. They're just cars. I don't think. Actually, probably the new Chargers. The Chargers are probably those are Hemis. I think those are probably the fastest. What is a true copy of a vehicle ownership? That's a great question. True copy means photocopy both sides, front and back, and it has to be of a valid document. So ownerships, despite common misbelief that they don't expire, they do expire. At least the plate portion does. When you get your license plate renewal, you are actually getting a validation sticker for your permit as well. The permit must be a copy including that validation sticker for it to be valid. Cool. What is this? Do speed cameras get you? Do speed cameras get you for even 1 kilometer over? Great question. I don't have a good answer for you. I don't know. They don't tell us what the trigger is. They could be different at every location. The goal is don't speed. That should be your goal, and not worrying about whether you get a ticket or not. It should be don't speed. Hey, for everybody watching, is 123 of you. If you all hit that double tap on the screen, you'll show that you like the stream, and it'll help advertise it to others on the talk. So let's see here. Please do that. Yes, if you double tap the screen, it shows you like it, and it doesn't cost you a penny, but it does help the stream. How do you wait? How long do you have to wait for your G? So after you get your G2, you have to wait 1 year, 12 months to go for your G. And what is this? What charge does a person get? I don't know what this is. What charge does a person get if a suspect spits? So if they spit on the ground is different than if they spit on a person. If they spit on a person, it's assault. If they spit on the ground, it's spitting on the ground. I think there's actually a bylaw for that, but I've never laid it. English is my second language. Am I eligible to apply to be a police officer? Absolutely. To be any, as long as you are proficient and can pass the tests that are required of you to become a police officer, you're absolutely eligible to work for the Toronto Police Service. I have many friends that are English as a second language that work for the service. So it is definitely a wonderful opportunity. And if you are still working on developing your language skills, there are jobs you can have with if you're until that you really perfect your language skills, you can work on it. And you can still be a member of the service. Can't book a test. What happens to your license? Well, you start off by trying every day, like every hour. Like, don't sleep. Just keep on trying. People are getting tests next month. Like, they're really getting vacated testing opportunities. You will be able to. You have to be diligent. If you just check once a day, you're going to miss out. Somebody else is going to get the test that should have gone to you. So be diligent. I got my G2 last month. Where do I go for my G? You wait a year and then you go back to where you got your G2 because that's gonna be the same place. You just keep it's drivetest.ca, same place you booked your G2 test.
You drink, I ask.
Okay. Actually, hang on a second. I'm sliding off camera for 1 second while you ask me, but I'm listening.
Okay. Slide.
And I'm back because I wanted water, not coffee.
What is the speed limit for the left lane of a highway?
It's whatever the posted sign says. So if the sign says 100, it is 100. There is no additional bonus. There is no math that will give you a different number. The speed limit is the speed limit is the speed limit, regardless of the lane in which you are traveling in. And it's a wonderful topic that nobody likes the answer to, because there is a strong belief that you should be able to exceed the speed limit to get where you're going because you're in a rush. And there's no rushing allowed. Yeah, I was going to make a bad joke, but I'll avoid it today. The question about doing your G2 testing to G, do you have to go to the same location? No, you don't. You can go to any location. In regards to education, is there a specific education to apply? Grade 12 is the minimum, but it's a very competitive position or application process. So the more education you have, the better of a candidate you will become. My suggestion would be, Mamba, go to www.torontopolice.on.ca/careers. On there is all the requirements, along with information on how to get a hold of our talent acquisition unit, and they're the employment unit. They're the people you talk to. There are mentors. There are, recruiters that you can speak to, and you can ask them all the questions. But all of it is really well laid out on that website. And there's a question about being pulled over for an unpaid ticket. Well, the way it works is not being. We don't pull people over for unpaid tickets. We pull you over when your license is suspended because you didn't pay your tickets. That's a different situation. But we don't pull people over for unpaid tickets on their own. But because a consequence of an unpaid ticket may require you or make you ineligible for renewing your license plates for certain types of tickets, and your license for other types of tickets means that you may not have a license or a plate. So there's other reasons. Kelly Wilson said something about going too slow. I'm trying to find out why did I get pulled over for doing the speed limit? I was told I was going too slow. I have no idea, Kelly, because I would not pull someone over for going the speed limit. That to me is not a reasonable thing to do, but that's me. I can't say why the officer who pulled you over, or the location, or the specifics as to why you were pulled over. If you were on the highway going slow on the left lane, maybe. But if you're doing the speed limit, that to me doesn't make a lot of sense. But I understand there's some safety things that people discuss, and their opinions may be different than mine. Once you are 80, are you required to be retested? There's a whole different situation. When you're 80, you may be required to do certain testing. I think there's some vision testing, possibly. Definitely some testing for renewing. I believe it is after 80, because at 80 you can't just renew online. You have to go in. My daughter had G1. How long before G2? If your daughter does not get professional training, does not take an approved training course, she has to wait a year. If she does take a proper or approved training course, it's reduced to 8 months before she can go for a G2. Ranger Gaming wants to know what I did on Labor Day. Labor Day was Monday, right? I did as little as I was at home doing honey-do things. Right, wifey? I was doing what my wife told me. I was doing home stuff. I was spending time with my kids before they went back to school.
to clarify, he's looking for his wife and not myself when he was looking
Yes,
at the
yes. I'm
cameras.
sorry. I'm looking for chat messages from my wife, not looking at. Did it look like I was looking at you? No, I was not looking at Q. Q is not my wife. Q. And speaking of Q, and the volunteers are moderators who are in the room. They are not police officers. They're not paid by the service. They are here helping out of the kindness of their heart, and they are here helping us keep the chat classy. So thank you very much for the moderators. But I was looking for my wife, who was often in the stream. She's probably busy with the kids and remote learning, so she didn't make a comment. So she's not watching, so I can talk about her now. Okay, so Kelly continues in the conversation about being pulled over. 2 black SUV. I was doing 100. They were doing 140. Yeah, I don't know where, don't know who, but I don't know why you'd be pulled over for doing the speed limit. Can we operate an entertainment system while driving? If your entertainment system is your infotainment system, that's your stereo, your air conditioner, the controls on your dashboard, that shouldn't be an issue. If you're watching TV, if you're watching a movie, yeah, you can. Entertainment systems are covered under the Highway Traffic Act's distracted driving laws. Can an insurance company drop you if you too many demerits? An insurance company can drop you for any reason at all. It's a private company. They're not obligated to insure you under their regular policies. You may be considered high risk after even a couple of tickets, not even with demerit points, just a pattern of behavior that suggests you're high risk. So yeah, they can drop you, and you can go into facility, which means you'd be paying thousands of dollars to be insured. I mean, like $1,000 potentially a month. Not a good thing. Can I fight a handheld ticket if it was a GPS? If your handheld device was in your hand, even in GPS mode, you can fight it, but it's not something you're going to win because you cannot hold your phone even when it's in GPS mode. Why do cops have red lines on pants? Well, red lines are for police constables. Anything above the rank of police constable has a black line. Provincial officers like OPP have a blue line. Federal officers like the RCMP have a yellow line, and it denotes what service or so municipal police is red.
You drink, I ask.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Okay, so someone here in chat had asked that he has his full license, Ontario license, but has 13 years back in home country. Can his wife drive with him with a G1?
So it depends on how much time was credited to them when you converted your previous license.
Only 2 years local.
2 years local, but it depends on how much they credited. So if they said with your 14 previous years they gave you 4 years experience and that's how you ended up with a G, then you may be qualified. And the way to find out is looking for the 4 dots. If you don't have the 4 dots,
I liked listening to Blanchette.
We got audio coming in from News Talk 1010.
He was just so straightforward,
Perfect. We're just going to keep talking until we hear a cue to say that we're going to be live. Okay, so yeah, we talked about pants. We talked about that. Let's see here. That happened to me after getting a cell phone ticket. I'm not sure what we said there. I saw a cop driving cruiser on his cell. Why no ticket? Great question. Police officers, as well as fire and ambulance operators, and I see that because it's not just police officers, it's police vehicles. If you're operating a police, fire, or ambulance vehicle, you're exempt under the HTA. You are permitted to use your device. One of the reasons is we have devices for being dispatched. We have devices for being for handheld radios. We have all sorts of reasons why we need to be able to use those. And we are exempt under the HTA for both exceeding the speed limit as well as using handheld communication devices. Let's see here. Angela topping with a question from YouTube. Can your computers access information from other provinces if needed? Absolutely, yes, we can. As well as from the United States. Okay. Why do police have red interior lights? Red interior lights are very often used by pilots, and we've adopted that for us because at nighttime, a red light does not cause your pupils to dilate. So if you put on a bright light and then you turn it off again, your night vision is affected. Red lights do not affect your night vision. So if you were looking for something for lighting the entire or internal inside of your vehicle, so you could read a map or you could look at something briefly, you would be able to not affect your night vision. At least not not severely, and you'd be able to safely continue along your way. So that's the thing. New digital ID can I use for license? Not yet. Digital ID will be something that is introduced at the end of the year, potentially by the Ontario government. It'll be very specific as to how. It's not a photo of your license. It's going to be an electronic, protected piece of software that will keep your identity safe. Supposed to be. Let's see here. Do you need police college for PC? So once you're hired in Ontario, you go to the Ontario Police College and you get your diploma from the police college. Once you qualify there, you come back and you graduate as a police officer from the college, and you come back and get your additional training. But yeah, you need to go to police college specifically to become a police officer in Ontario. Okay.
Are stickers required to be removed before affixing the new ones?
You don't have to fix. You don't have to take the old one off before putting the new one on. One second, I just want to make sure we're getting close here. Anything coming from News Talk? Okay. So you don't have to. I think it's a really good idea to remove the one behind and have a clean surface, because if you have a stack of them, it's very easy for criminals to scrape the old one off. Sorry, it's easy for them to scrape the underlying one and peel all of the stickers off and then use it on their vehicles for crime stuff. So you want to make it difficult. I've heard people of using razor blades to chop them up and leave slices, so if they try and peel them, they'll take it off in pieces so they can't use them. But ultimately, by taking your old ones off, you are protecting yourself. Okay. Just make it a little louder. Can civilians install red interior lights? Absolutely, you can. Ours are on a switch. We can have a regular one or a red. It's a toggle.
Well, I thought the idea was good, but it's just that if you're going to ask one person if they're happy with the leader's answers, then you have to ask everybody else.
Okay. What do you need to do to train for the ETF? You need to be a ninja. That's the best answer. You need to be incredibly fit. You need to go through a very severe training course. And I've never done it, so I couldn't tell you the details of it anyway. I lost my insurance slip, but I have proof in my phone. That's from Angad. The deal with that is you have to have the electronic. It's not just a picture of your pink slip. It's a electronic version in your digital wallet from your insurance company. So you need to get it sent to you. It's not a photo of it. So an officer might accept it, but it should be a proper digitized version sent to you by your insurance company. Okay. I can hear that they're talking, Jerry's talking about the debate, the English leaders debate regarding the election in the background. That's what you're hearing is News Talk 1010. We're going to be joining them as soon as they're ready to talk to us. And for anyone who's watching who doesn't know who I am, my name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a police constable with the Toronto Police Service here in Ontario, Canada, and I talk about traffic and police stuff Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. At least that's what we've been doing. We've been talking also about changing the time. We had a poll up, and if you look at our channel a few days ago, we were asking, what's better, 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock or 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock? So far, 75% of people say 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. So we're going to hang with it, except for next week. Next week, we are going to be, I am going to be in London, Ontario. I'm going to be attending the Ontario Police College that we just spoke about a little while ago, because I'm taking a course there. And what am I doing while I'm there? I'm going to be TikToking, but I'm going to be TikToking after hours, because I'll be busy in class doing my course during the day. And we will do the first ever afternoon or evening TikToks for a week while I'm away. And then I'll come back and get back to our regularly scheduled times. So if you've been annoyed that you have to wake up early to see me, next week you won't. Not a question, just want to say thanks for this live. You're most welcome. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for supporting us. Appreciate it. We're waiting for a 5-minute. I was going to check in here and see if we have any news from News Talk. Okay. I've got, in case Nick is listening, I've just got you tuned up a little bit, so we'll hear you if you come back. And what do you do if you lose your license? It's a question from Mamba. If you lose your license, go to the ministry, get a temporary license. They will send you one in the mail eventually, but they'll give you instantly a printout, a piece of paper saying that you have a replacement. Now, in the meantime, I would also report it, because that's a major issue for your identity. You want to make sure that police know that you've lost it. It's floating around. Now, if you just misplaced it somewhere in your house and you're pretty confident it's not floating around in the public and people are opening up bank accounts in your name, then you may want to simply get the replacement, because sometimes you misplace it and tomorrow you find it, but you need it for driving today. Ministry is going to print you a temporary and then replace it. Also, once you order a new one, your old one is no longer valid. There's a code on the back. We know which one is the most current. We will not accept an old one. Can I drive with my G1 expired? I booked my road test today. Yes, you can, as long as your expired license expired March 1st, 2020 or later. If it was March 1st, 2020 or later, you're still valid until December 31st, 2022. But you need to keep going. You need to make sure you stay up on your stuff. Do you ever visit schools to talk to kids? Yes, but we have not been doing that due to the whole pandemic business. So we've been doing all this live stuff. That's really how we got involved with doing lives on TikTok, is because we can't be there in person or haven't been able to. But as things get better, we really look forward to going back to school. Let's see here. Now, we will be talking about the new stunt driving laws. We put a video up on our channel. We're going to talk to Jerry about the new stunt driving laws that come into effect on September 12th. So things that you may want to know about stunt driving. There were some changes on July 1st, more changes September 12th. September's a really good month, by the way.
Stay tuned, guys. It's a gripper.
It's a gripper, yeah. There's lots happening. If you'd be so kind as to double tap that screen, show people we're doing stuff that's good and that you approve of, that you like, so other people get to see what we're doing. It invites other people into the room, essentially, by saying you like it.
Hey, Sean. Sorry to interrupt. Speaking of invitation, you're invited to join us in a couple of minutes.
Okay, fantastic. We're ready.
All right, super. Thanks for holding, and Jerry will be with you in about 2 minutes.
Okie doke. We're going to keep you low in the background until then.
Clients, and we'll handle it from there.
Oh, that got really loud. Okay, I'm just going to put them in the background a little low. Apologies for the is it hard to listen to? I hear it. I'm going to bring it down to 2, so it should just be a whisper. Okay. How is it legal in the U.S. for cops to lie, sir? Not aware of any people lying. I'm sure that there's different versions of and perspectives of the truth, but I'm not aware of anything like that. So, with a previous criminal record, can I join police? Depending on the charge, it may be something insignificant. If you've shown that your life is different now, if you've taken a different path, despite having a minor criminal record, and I do say minor, there's certain charges that you're not going to be able to move forward from, and by all means, you can apply and talk to actually, before you apply, talk to a recruiter. Find out if you would qualify, if it's something that you could get a pardon for. Okay. There's underglow on my car. What color is illegal? That's a complicated question. We haven't had an underglow. This is the first underglow question of the day. We need a bell or a buzzer or something to ring out for tint and underglow questions. But underglow has some restricted colors, because there's restricted colors for your vehicle anywhere you put them. You have essentially blue, red, green. Those you can't have. Now, when you start talking about projecting light, you can only project yellow or white to the front, red or amber to the back, and that really does restrict what you do, because underglow lights could be doing other things. So you want to avoid that. I would certainly avoid any underglow on your car anywhere except for on private property. That's what I was thinking for. Okay.
Shapiro, traffic safety programs, traffic operations for Toronto, is the TikTok traffic cop. He on TikTok is at Traffic Services and does a TikTok broadcast on a regular basis, and then we join up with him every once in a while here on the iHeartRadio Talk Network. Sean, good morning.
Good morning, Jerry. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Let's talk about some changes coming to stunt driving. First of all, could you tell me, what is stunt driving?
Stunt driving has all sorts of things, and the majority of folks refer to stunt driving as going 50 kilometers over the posted speed limit. Way back in July 1st, there were some changes there, and that affected how much over the limit you had to go depending on the speed limit of that road you were traveling on. So normally it's 50 kilometers over, and now it's 50 kilometers and over if the speed limit is 80 or more. Additionally, now if you're doing 40 over on a road that has a speed limit under 80, you're also stunt driving. But things like braking traction, spinning your wheels, wheelies, intentionally taking your traction or wheel off the ground. Things like that would trigger. Also, traveling with somebody in your trunk, oddly enough, is stunt driving.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was a much more serious kind of offense.
Depending on the condition of the person, absolutely. Additionally, if you ever go to an intersection and it turns green and someone does a jackrabbit start and hits the gas and speeds to make their left turn in front of traffic before they get an opportunity to go, that's also stunt driving. So, along with the speed, the level of impoundment, it used to come with a 7-day suspension and a 7-day impound. As of July 1st, it went to a 14-day impound roadside, so you lost your wheels and your license. What happens September 12th is it's going to be a 30-day suspension along with that 14-day impound. So that's significant. The other thing is private property has been sort of a safe haven for people for a long time. They've been doing all sorts of things on private property, and the HDA didn't apply there. Well, as of the 12th of September, stunt driving charges will be we'll be able to lay those charges on private property. There's a huge list of those things. It's any parking lot, garage structure, and it goes on. Anywhere that there's access from the road, it's quite in depth, and now stunt driving will apply there as well.
So if somebody had a really wide driveway and they had the capability of doing that spin around that NASCAR drivers do when they win the race, just kind of spinning around in place, and they're doing it on their own driveway, that's illegal?
Yeah, stunt driving that's dangerous is going to be chargeable there on private property as well.
Okay. What's going to happen then, or what potentially could happen, to the guy who was in the news? I saw this morning. He got nabbed doing just, I think, 1 kilometer under 100 over. It was 99 kilometers over the speed limit in a school zone.
That's ridiculous that would be done. So there's different ways that can go. That could still be considered dangerous driving, depending on the audience, the risk that was posed to the public. That could be a criminal charge, or it could be simply stunt driving, depending on how the police investigating perceive that action.
How do you react to this text message that says, well, you took away somebody's car. This is a police state. This is guilty till proven innocent.
Well, we're not just taking away cars. There's evidence that things are happening. We're taking safety into account. It's very clear that we're taking away their privileges for driving, but it's a privilege to have their license, and taking it away is part of the deal. The courts have determined that people are playing with the system and they're not getting the impact or the lessons being learned, and that's why laws are being changed to front end load the impact.
What's going on TikTok today? What are people asking about?
Oh, there's so much. Well, a lot has been talking about stunt. We've been talking about tint, which is normal. We are talking about U-turns. It's been nonstop. Let me pull one up for you. Okay. Drive test locations. People are panicking about the extensions. Okay, one second.
Yeah, that's a big deal right now.
Well, there's been some new updates. So in September specifically, they're opening 4 centers. 2 of those have already opened. One of them, Mount Joy. The other one, I've already forgotten where it is, but there's one coming out in, is it Stouffville? Or anyway, there's one opening up on the 20th, and then there's a 4th. I haven't been notified as to where it's going to be opening. Let's see here. People asking about, is insurance mandatory with a G2? And of course, insurance is mandatory for any vehicle, and whether or not you need to be listed on a insurance policy as a G2 is really an insurance question. But if you live, my understanding is if you live with the owner of the vehicle, then you must be listed as on a policy and pay as an occasional driver. Whereas in a G1, they don't generally want you added.
Okay, here's somebody who sent a text message to me. People drive into my driveway all the time, all day long on long weekends in order to turn around. Is that legal?
Momentarily going onto your driveway isn't specifically illegal. If they're on the portion that is not crossing the sidewalk or on the first, call it 5 feet, that little portion that would be closest to the road is actually government property. They're allowed to be there. It's part of the street. The part that's at your house, you could always put up a cord that says, and make it so they can't enter your driveway. That's up to you. But I personally, that's too much work.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I sort of feel like, who hasn't done that? Who hasn't pulled into a driveway in order to turn around on a narrower street? I mean, I always think, I wonder if they're going to wonder what I'm doing, but I do it.
Well, and it's really not an inconvenience. It may not be something you like, but are they really doing anything wrong? Not really.
Hey, what is the deal here in Ontario? I saw this happen the other day. You and I are both motorcycle riders. And in some jurisdictions, I know in California, if the traffic is going below a certain speed on a major highway, the motorcycles are allowed to help move things along. There's a lot of them in California, and do white lining going in between the lines of cars. I see people doing it on the Gardner and not necessarily at slower speeds. Is that legal in any way at all?
So this is the where you have people. The term for it is escaping me at the moment, but essentially, no, you can't do that. You can't.
I think white lining is the term for it, where they're driving on the white line in between the two lanes of cars.
Well, there's lane filtering is one thing at stoplights, and then there's another term. White lining is actually the first time I've ever heard it when you mentioned it. But effectively, you can't drive between vehicles. There would be unsafe lane changes. It's simply not permitted right now, and you could find yourself with a careless driving charge.
When you are driving, this is another text message, when you are driving next to a bike lane and you have to turn, do you turn into the bike lane first, or do you check and then just turn across it at the intersection?
We actually talked about this last week, I think, briefly when a caller called in, and essentially it depends on the intersection. A bike lane that ends with at the intersection with dotted lines, the driver should pinch the curb and prevent cyclists from getting caught in that turn. That way they can make a safe turn. The cyclist can go around them to the left. If, however, it does not have that dotted line at the intersection, they have to wait and make sure it's safe to cross the bike lane. And it's their responsibility to make that right turn safely across the active lane without interfering with that bicyclist, because they would be causing a collision and they'd be at fault.
Great number of people are texting in. The term we're looking for is lane splitting.
That is exactly the word, and I don't know why I couldn't think of it.
Okay.
Thank you for everyone.
Yes, and by the way, the second most popular text message coming in right now, Sean does not pass these laws. Some people are furious when they heard you say that you could be charged with stunt driving for something you did on your own property.
What's very specific, it says any parking lot, garage, structure, whether public or private, paved or unpaved, flat or multi-level, above or below grade, including driveway or road that connects the parking lot to a highway, any private, commercial, industrial parking lot or empty lot from which the public could ordinarily be excluded, and any parking lot into which drivers are expressly or implied to be permitted to enter. I mean, it goes on and on. And I'm assuming that would include your driveway. But you know what? I'll have to get back into more detail. Truly, in your driveway doing donuts is not something that is very common. So I'm assuming it would be included, but I may be wrong.
All right. And one other thing somebody wrote and said, is it legal to sit in the back of an open truck bed going down the road?
So under the Ontario Highway Traffic Act, you have to sit in a seat that has a seat belt, or you'd be charged with not being in a seated or in a belted position. So you can get a seatbelt ticket.
Okay, but you know, sometimes on those trucks they've got various different kinds of stays and things that hold down whatever you might be loading into the truck. So if I belted myself in, maybe I'd be
No,
okay.
it's unfortunately it's got to be a regulated seatbelt. But it's a good try. In fact, somebody was on a TV show where you pitch to the bosses and try and get funded, and he had created a jump seat that goes in the back, bolts in, and would be a proper seat. I don't think that flies either.
Okay. Sean Shapiro continues on TikTok at Traffic Services. Always good to have you. Thanks very much.
It's always a pleasure. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Yep. And coming up on Touchdowns and Fumbles,
Thanks,
we
John.
have a question
Thank you.
around
Take
these,
care.
Protests at Justin Trudeau events. So I'll fill you in on how you can.
Okay. I always love it when I get questions I just don't have answers for. So it's a good time. I always love spending time with Jerry on his show.
Okay. Is it illegal to drive into the bike lane just to pass people?
No, you cannot enter the bike lane for any reason. Not to pass people, not to park. Bike lanes are bike lanes. Okay. Question from the... Let's see here. Lord Duo wants to know why we can't use 5 or 6 point harnesses. Generally speaking, they're not... Well, first of all, they're not street legal. They're for the track. They're not regulated by the HTA. They are specifically... you want to wear them? You can probably wear them, but you still have to wear the regular seatbelt on top, so that's pretty pathetic. And you have... the opportunity to use those when you're on the track, but not on the road. Yeah, it also makes for a big problem if you are not wearing it properly. So I've spoken to racers who say that they need a pit crew to put them in that seat and essentially have to ratchet it down so tight that they are glued. They are one with the seat. If you're not wearing it properly, you're not going to be protected. They also wear out very quickly. They have to be replaced on a regular basis. They're just not regular seat belts. Additionally, you should be wearing those with a helmet, with a seat tether, with a proper cage. There's all sorts of things that go into wearing race equipment when you're racing and not when you're not. Yeah, you can get seriously injured if it's improper. It's not just safer because there's more straps. Okay. Can bike lanes be used by motorcycles? Absolutely not. It is bicycles, not motorcycle lanes. Can I turn left on a red? What is this? Can I turn left on a red two intersecting one way? The only way in Ontario for you to make a left on a red is if both the street you are on and the street that you are turning onto are both one ways. That's the only time you can do it. Okay. The deadline is till December 2022. My G2 expires 2021. Yes, the deadline has been moved for anyone with a G1 or G2, M1 or M2, that your learner's period is extended until December 31st, 2022. Okay. Will you guys ever do a car show like OPP did? Do you mean like a television show or a car show? What do you mean? Because if there's a car show on TV, I want in. Yeah, let me know. I'd love to know more. We're always interested in doing things. We're probably not going to do car shows like physical meetups. If somebody else is hosting one, maybe we'll drop by and say hello. But not organize an event like that. But a television show, I think that'd be awesome. We'd love to do that. So if anyone's a producer, give me a call. We got a TV show on the. Toronto Police needs a TV show. Okay. Can you drive on private property with no license? Can you? Yes. Is it a good idea? No. Is insurance going to cover you? Not at all. But that question came from Canadian Armed Forces. And it's a good question because very often people will teach friends and family, is it something we can give a ticket for? Assuming they're not stunt driving, assuming they are not dangerous driving, then just operating the vehicle, they're in a loophole area where they're not covered by the Highway Traffic Act. Let's see here. We have, boy, that bike lane to pass business was really adamant, asking like several times. Please don't spam the chat or the Q&A. Do you love this new part of your job? I absolutely do. I'm having a great time engaging with everybody on social media, doing something that's really different, and we're really the only people doing it. Now, there's people that we're going to be seeing safe communities that they're in Alberta. They're doing it. We have Edmonton Police. They're doing it, but we're not. No one's doing exactly this. To say that we're on TikTok and engaging on social media, lots of people do that. But doing this 1 hour Q&A every day, I'm proud to say we're the only ones in the game, and we're having a great time doing it. So yeah, thanks for everyone who comes in and asks questions and makes this fun and interactive, because it's all about sharing information and answering your questions. Let's see here. Deadline for license tags, if they expired March 2020 or later, they expire on February 28th, 2022. Okay. Can you explain why loud mufflers are illegal? This is a question from the chat. Absolutely. They're loud and people don't like them. That's pretty much, you're disturbing the peace. The rules say that you may not create unnecessary noise. And unnecessary noise can be created by way of your horn, your stereo, your exhaust. It's just noise. So and it's generally behavioral. So if you have a loud car, that doesn't mean you're going to get a ticket. But if you are going to be revving that engine, peeling, redlining everywhere you go, that's going to be a problem. It's a problem because you are annoying the people who live and exist around you. And we get tons and tons of complaints from citizens. Do you have to have a muffler? Yeah, additionally, there are laws that say you have to have a muffler, and it has to be a muffler that is no louder than 74 decibels. Additionally, if you're a motorcycle operator in the city of Toronto, you must be no louder than 92 decibels at idle. Now, there's a whole bunch of technical stuff. For an officer to lay a charge on the road, it really doesn't require any decibel rating or marker. It just has to be too loud based on his evidence. And I said 74 decibels for a car. Yeah. That was Q just checking in with me. And by the way, if you're watching on TikTok and you're wondering who am I talking to, we are also streaming on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and Q is on screen waving at me often, and she's waving right now. But she's helping me out, and we're chatting in a private chat. And also, folks are watching there and chatting there because the live chat is everywhere. We have multiple things going on. It's a busy, busy joint. Why doesn't the government ban cars that go over 110? They haven't banned potato chips, and people can eat too many of those. They also don't ban cars that go over 110 because they don't, and you have the choice of following the law or not. And when you don't follow the law, you can get a ticket. We talk about licensing in motorcycles. Why do we let people have fast motorcycles? Well, sometimes you need to be able to accelerate out of a problem. Now, you can accelerate out of a problem because of an emergent situation, but you shouldn't continue accelerating beyond that of a legal limit. It's about choice. You have that choice. What you do with it is up to you. But you know what? Maybe we should say that we should change that law. I mean, start petitioning and make it so nobody can go over 60. That would go over really well. Could you imagine? Okay. I gotta stop. I don't know. Wait. Are factory cars always legal? Generally, but not always. There's some special vehicles that might not be perfect. I imagine if they are going to be sold in Ontario, they're going to conform to the regulations because it's a requirement of the manufacturer. But beyond that, if the dealer may give you an option for putting an aftermarket something in there, and they might give you the option. Like, look at Harley Davidson. People say, "Oh, Harleys are loud." Harleys are not loud. Stock Harleys are quiet machines. But before you leave the building, you probably stick your own, pipes on that are custom and may cease to be legal. Now, something about dealers that I say that in order to be sold in Ontario, they have to conform. Oddly enough, they do until they put that little license plate cover that says whatever dealership you bought the car, and very often that is actually violating the Highway Traffic Act. So don't ask me why people do that, because I don't know why you'd want to advertise anybody else's business or stuff and make you eligible for a ticket. Now, let's see here. Tint is also talking about factory. Cars come with tint. Sometimes they're privacy tint in the back, but they should never have tint on the front windshield or on the windows directly left and right of the driver's seat. That could be an issue. Okay. Are trip permits still extended as well? For CVSA, for commercial vehicles, you're going to need to look into things because I am not well versed in this and I don't want to give you bad information. So double check the MTO. If you search license extensions or COVID extensions or MTO extensions, you're going to get a detailed page on all of that. But I'm not a CVSA officer. We do have them here. I would love to have them join us on TikTok one day to help answer all these questions. But what time is it? Where are we at? We got a few minutes left. Hey, if you don't follow us, follow us. Why aren't you following us? You should be following us. If you don't follow us, please do. If you do that, you'll be notified when we drop new content, when we go live. And we do that Monday to Friday. Next week, however, we will not be live at our regular time. We're going to be live in the evenings after I finish my course, because I'm going to be out at the Ontario Police College, and I will do that. Also, we have a Discord server. Discord, for anyone who doesn't know, is like an old school BBS. We have a community. It's growing. We've got over 200 people that hang out there, and we talk about all sorts of things. Sometimes traffic, sometimes not. And it is, we also update things like when we're going to be live and if there's a change, because we are the police and sometimes emergencies happen and we aren't able to go live. Like, for instance, yesterday we were on site for a press release, a press conference, and we weren't live at our normal time, although we did cast it. So things like that, if you really want to stay up to date and know what's going on, use the Discord link, and here is that invitation. That is the code. If you type that into your business, you'll get in there and you can join the conversation. Looking for some other stuff.
Did you pose?
I did. I sort of posed. I've been doing this.
Now boop his nose, guys. Boop his nose.
No, don't poop the nose. Don't poop the nose. Okay. The silliness of our thing. Sometimes we get silly. Okay. Hello from Wisconsin. Hello, Wisconsin. How you doing? I was in a chat with Michael. He's he's actually from Pennsylvania, and you know what? I saw a message that Highway Safety Gang was in the house. I did not say hello earlier. My bad. How you doing? Hope everyone's doing well in Pennsylvania. But yeah, Michael was chatting about all sorts of stuff from Pennsylvania, and he watches our show. I hope he's watching today. Hello to our school resource officer from Pennsylvania. Lots of folks from all over the world watch this stream, so it's really cool. Hey, Australia! Talking about all over the world, I have an envelope that's going to Australia today. I got to go drop it in the mailbox. But yeah, where in Australia are you from? Liam, is it Liam? I have family in Australia, so I love it down under. I want to come back. Let's see here. Morning from Oki. Oki where? Metal detectors in malls, a good idea. Don't know. Any advice for me to join the police in 3 years? You know what? I've got great advice for you. Be the best candidate you can be. Work hard in school. Be as physically fit and capable as you can, because that's a big thing. And rather than making that the focus of your stress, be able to focus on your academics and building yourself up to be the best candidate possible. And the deal is that if the physical is a requirement, you know it's going to be there. If you got 3 years, you can work to be a ninja by then. But you can also work to be the best candidate. Make sure you volunteer in your community. That's huge. Yeah, always keep making yourself better. That way you make yourself a better candidate, because it's so very important to be involved in the community you're going to be protecting. A question about funeral processions. Is it law or courtesy to pull over and move aside? In Ontario, it is courtesy. It is not a law. You won't be ticketed, but they will probably think you're a bad person, because ultimately, you know what? They're getting their final move, their final ride, to be honored by their friends and family. And we salute funeral processions as police. And if we're saluting, the least you can do is move over. Okay. Let's see here. And Liam, for more information about becoming a police officer, now you're in Australia, so it's going to be different for you there. By the way, I used to watch River Rats, which is a great Aussie water police show. Very cool. I'm going to go watch reruns now. But if you have police questions, feel free to DM me. Send a message to me. I'll happily chat with you about that off screen. Today we're going to be going live a little bit differently, a little bit longer. We're going to be going live at 10 o'clock, which is just a few minutes away, with our friends. Now, can I press this button? Our friends from Safer Communities. They're in Alberta, and we're going to be going live with them. They're not live yet, so I'm not sure if they're waiting to send me a message. Let me see. No, I don't see a message yet. But they're just starting work at 8 o'clock for their time, and then it's going to be 10 o'clock for our time. So it's going to be just a few minutes away. So we are looking forward to that. You're welcome to hang out until they jump onto the stream. We're going to be ending our YouTube stream shortly while we get into the chat with them, because who knows where it's going to go. We're going to talk about stuff that's very potentially RCMP-ish. I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. We're going to have some fun. So, yeah, for everyone who's been watching, thank you for spending the hour with us. It's always a blast. We'll be back again on Monday at a time to be announced, because I don't know what my schedule is going to be really like on the first day. But, yeah, join us on Monday. Keep an eye out for us. Follow us. And stay safe, everyone. Be well. Have fun. What else? I don't know. I'm just going on. I'm just waiting.
This question keeps popping up in chat. Do you want to know what it is?
I'd love to know what it is.
When I make a right turn, can I turn into the bus lane?
Oddly enough, that was a question that I sent to Jerry this morning. We were going to talk about it. So when you make a right turn, you actually have to turn into the bus lane. You have to be in the bus. Even if it's a protected bus lane, you actually change into the bus lane before making the right turn. It's a specified bus lane. You still move into it to make your right turn, unless it is some other kind of bus lane from a different planet. I don't know. But I'll give you an example. Dufferin south of Finch, it's a bus lane. You have to turn into that bus lane and then make your turn. After if you don't make your turn, you could be ticketed for being in the bus lane. But if you're making the safe turn, you don't turn across a bus lane. You turn into it and make the right turn. Yes. Signage is key. It's going to display what kind of lane it is, but the signage isn't going to say you can move into this lane for buses. Now, I will say that it depends on where you are. Everything's going to be different. But even the ones that say buses only, you still have to turn into their lane to make the right turn. You don't make a right turn across a bus lane. That would be dangerous, unless there's a lane that I'm not aware of. Q. But yeah, bus lanes are still, for making that right turn, there's going to be hash marks. There's going to be areas that explain or should make it very obvious that you should be turning into that bus lane to make the right turn. Unless it's divided. But Q's losing her mind right now because I'm giving information that she's obviously not agree with. Which bus lane are you talking about? Q?
The tram ones.
Tram one's different. That's totally different. That's not a bus lane. Those are in the center for York Region. They're did you talk about left or to right lane?
And there was left and right lane
Okay,
turns.
so let's go back. Okay, let's go back. If we're talking York Region, where they have a bus lane that's protected, it has dividers on it, it is a different color, and there's signage that says you may not enter. That is a different situation. That is not at all what we're talking about. I'm talking about City of Toronto we don't have those bus lanes. So I'm thinking right turn, and those right turns you need to go into the bus lane. If you're talking about a protected lane that is never permitting access by anyone other than a bus, well, sorry, Q. I'm trying to put it into perspective as to where we're talking about, and you have to spell it out for me. But listen, in York Region, they have bus lanes that are in the center. They are truly only bus lane and TTC, and it says that you can't. So you don't drive into those lanes to make your left turn, not at all. Hey, I'm inviting our friends to jump in now. And we're also going to exit our stream on the other side. Hey, they're connecting. Look at this. It's happening. Okay, I'm ending stream on YouTube. Thanks for everyone who's tuning in on YouTube and our other platforms. We'll talk to you soon. We'll be back on.